ability to cancel anybody? Do you know that's like a fake way of thinking? Who the fuck are we to cancel anybody, right? Right? And this is, a lot of times, this is people we don't even know. Some of these celebrities, some of these actors, you don't even know this motherfucker. How you gonna get on your social media dogging some celebrity or dogging somebody in the public eye and you don't even know them? You don't even, and sometimes we don't even seek necessary context. That's what alarms me, is that we're not even seeking out context to get a clear understanding of what's going on. All of us got phones. All of us got the ability to research shit, and we ain't even using it. You know what I mean? Let's keep that shit real. The internet is a beautiful place. You can connect with people across the world. You can do things like this. You can get information instantaneously. You can research whatever you want to research. You can stay connected with everybody in your family. Like, it brings some beautiful resources, right? But for the most part, this shit ain't real. Like, when you're looking on the internet of what's be going on with everybody, we don't know what's real or what's fake, family. That's why we need to back the fuck up, mind our business. Mind our business. And just because you got the ability to comment, just because you got the ability to go in somebody's comments and say something, don't mean you should, right? Because I treat the internet like everybody I'm talking to online is right in my face. That's how I balance it out, right? That's my little secret. Because if I'm not going to say you ain't shit in your face, I'm not going to say it online. If I'm not going to talk down to you in your face, I'm not going to do it online. I treat everybody like you in my face. And if it's a celebrity on my show, I'd use news stories to catapult bigger situations that are going on or bigger conversations that we need to have. Not to tear nobody down. You know what I mean? Because some of this shit, understanding that we live in a society today where everything is open. Like, everybody's business is in the streets. There's hella interviews and everybody's sharing information, right? That still don't mean some of this shit is your business, right? So focus on your family. Focus on the shit you got going on. Don't worry about what's going on with celebrities and shit. Be entertained by it. Peep it. See what's going on. But canceling people, going hella hard at people you don't know, stop all that shit. Worry about yourself. You feel me? Next thing we need to make sure we do going into 2021, right? And I talk about this a lot because it's important to me. It's important part of my important part of my platform. What else we need to do going into 2021? We need to make it a point to make sure we are reading, not just ourselves, but our children. We need to make it a point to read to our kids. We need to make it a point that our kids are reading books. Like, more than half of the black inmates in prison, like 60 to 70% of the black inmates in prison are illiterate, right? So you can directly link not being able to read to doing crime or doing some real foul shit on the streets. You know what I mean? So not only can it help your vocabulary, but it's also a great way just to learn about shit. Like, it's a great way to teach your kids about history. You can get them books about history, smaller books, bigger books, whatever the case may be. But we all need to expand how we think. We all need to expand our palette as far as how we communicate. Because also, if you've ever been to any hood in America, a lot of fights, a lot of disagreements take place at times, not all the time, but a lot of fights, a lot of disagreements take place because dudes can't communicate with each other. They don't have a set way of communicating, so they use profanity, they use anger, they use violence because they don't know how to communicate. You know what I mean? Like, if you had a mouthpiece, if you had a mouthpiece, you'd be able to calm down and diffuse the situation sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So and that's another thing when we talk about the whole cancel culture and how we need to use context when we look at what's going on with people. That's why it's important for us to read. You know what I mean? Read several articles. If you see an article about something going on in with a person that you like or an incident that has taken place, read one article to get a perspective, find another one, get another perspective, find another one so you can get another perspective, right? You need to get a clear understanding of what the fuck is going on. You need to get a clear understanding of what you're looking at. You see what I'm saying? And the only way you can do that at times is reading. If you are the kind of person who says, I don't want to read shit, you're going to get fucked over. It's going to be a lot of stuff going on in your life, whether it be a contract, whether it be something else, you're going to get fucked over. Yes, you're right, Richard. A lack of education brings on a lot of negative things, and we need to be real with that. Like, I'm like I'm understanding how college can be necessary, but a kid can go to a trade school. There's different things to do after college, so I don't just tell a kid just go to college. But further education, people who further their education after high school, they make more money than those who don't. That's like the bottom line, right? So we need to make reading cool. We need to make education cool. Think about that. Think about if some rappers rapped about the books they read, right? That should be cool in the hood. Think about if we was walking around with shirts with the books with a recent book we read on the shirt. Made that type of shit fly. You know what I mean? So in 2021, family, we need to reconfigure what's cool in our community. We need to reconfigure what's working. Because we need to be honest. Whether we're dealing with racism, whether we're dealing with, you're damn right, Richard. Whether we're dealing with racism, whether we're dealing with any level of injustice, educating yourself on any of this is going to improve your perspective on it. It's going to improve how you see things. You see what I'm saying? And researching is reading. Like, you can't get away from that, because I think, like, I know some adults who avoid paperwork, right? Who avoid documents and things that have, and I be thinking sometimes, damn, this motherfucker ain't literate. You know what I mean? Because we gotta be real. We gotta be real about our lineage in this country, and we got grandfathers and grandmothers and great grandfathers who couldn't fucking read. So if they didn't read, they ain't teach they son or daughter to read, which could be your mom or dad. You see what I'm saying? Like, we need to be, and when it comes to the reading shit too, they say you want to hide something from a nigga, hide it in the book. That's funny, but I think ultimately, some of us just haven't got out of that mentality that, shit, we couldn't read for a while. Think about that. They don't allow us to read. Like the language and the English that we speak, it was so broken because we learned how to speak English from fucking Southern hillbillies. You know what I mean? So read something. If it's a magazine, read a magazine. Read a newspaper. Ain't that a trip? My boy Richard said that rich people have large libraries, poor people have large TVs. You goddamn right. And that makes sense. Allowing TV to control how you think, allowing TV to educate you. It's just entertainment. You know what I mean? It's just entertainment. They call the channels programming for a reason. You know what I mean? So get some books for your kids. That's number 2 right there. Get some books for your kids. Get some books for yourself. Read books about Black history. Read books about psychology. Educate yourself, family. You know what I mean? College can teach you a lot, but self-taught, self-teaching is an important commodity. Like, you need to be able to teach yourself. Learn things on your own. You know what I mean? Now, next thing we need to stop in 2021, right? We need to, in 2021, well, this is something we need to do in 2021. In 2021, we need to never stop the campaign to convert our street soldiers. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We have a lot of young brothers in the streets, and we complain about how they treat each other. I'm one of those people. I think killing another black man because of where he's from, or because of a woman, or pride, or money, or ego, all of these things are extremely unproductive, right? We understand this. But what do? Like, we need to realize these young brothers come from fatherless homes. These young brothers have fathers and uncles and brothers who was the victim of the war on drugs. These young brothers have moms and aunties who was a victim of the war on drugs as well, because they was on crack cocaine. You know what I mean? So we need to be... That's why I'm real understanding with my young brothers. Instead of just saying, stop selling that dope, stop killing each other, y'all need to... Well, no. We need to realize what they up against and approach them with this information, right? Because we do understand that the shit needs to stop. We do understand that we battled in racism, we battled in all these other injustices that we have to deal with in this country. And if we're killing each other for nonsense, then that's counterproductive. But it's all about the approach that you take, right? So we need to realize that the system has done a number on us and our people, but so have we, right? Like, we all know certain men who don't necessarily participate in their kids' lives and these type of things. We need to realize that if you're a man who don't participate in your kid's life, if you're a man who don't see fit to spend time with your kid, you could be creating a monster. You could be creating a young man who don't give a shit about life, so he gonna go out and do whatever he gotta do to get money. He gonna be real comfortable packing a gun and shooting that motherfucker. Cause like I said several weeks ago, if you ever shot a Glock handgun or something bigger, it's a violent ass act to shoot a pistol. So if we have a young man shooting that at somebody over money, shooting it at somebody over respect, something's going on mentally that will allow him to do that shit that easy, right? But at the same time, this is our warrior class. Some of the things that they're willing to do as far as their courage is concerned, we got niggas in corporate America we got politicians and a lot of men in our society who won't bust a grape in a food fight. So these guys are necessary. These guys are necessary in our development. So we can't banish them and say, nah, just get out the way. Fuck y'all. We need to be able to use them, right? So this is our warrior class to a degree, but they have to be developed. They have to be nourished. We can't just look at them and blame them for what we've all had to, you know what I mean? Blame them for what society has done to them, including fathers, including mothers, including all of us. You know what I mean? So let's do what we can to help these young men, and that's educating them on history. That's meeting them where they are, not acting like we better than them. You know what I mean? Because constantly in my city, we constantly having young dudes kill each other over street culture, killing each other over pride, over women, all these different things. And I hear black people talking about them like they ain't shit. Oh, look at these niggas. Well, no. That's us. That's your sons. That's your cousin. That's your... No. That's us, right? How many of us got these young dudes in our family and we ain't telling them shit about their lifestyle? You ain't got to preach to them, but you got to let them know, oh, come on, man. What is this worth? What are you getting out of this? You know what I mean? So we need to continue to try to convert our street soldiers and make sure we find a way to make them regular members of society. So they don't end up getting killed early. They don't end up doing some stupid shit at 17 or 18. So now they doing 20 years in jail. You know what I mean? To me, that's all of our problems. We can just look at their parents. Yes, they should have a mom and dad who care about them, who help them out. That's true. But at the end of the day, like, it takes a village. So we all should be concerned about these young men and figure out a way to use that energy for something positive. Like, use that warrior spirit they got to help us. Think about if all the gangs in America said, we ain't killing nobody black no more. We going after George Zimmerman ass. We ain't killing nobody black. We going after them cops that shot Breonna Taylor. Think about how that would change the psyche of America, right? So we need to understand, like, the power that we actually have, but we give that shit away when we just harm each other. You know what I mean? So converting our street shoulders is definitely important. Now, next and last thing I think we need to focus on in 2021, because we've made strides in doing this in 2020, but I think in 2021, we need to make it a point to kind of drive this point home and all of us get on the same page, family. So we need a continued code of conduct, family. Now, I know a lot of black folks, because of the police shootings, because of Donald Trump, a lot of black people I know who in the past wasn't necessarily displaying black pride, I can say it that way. Now they see the importance of empowering each other. They see the importance of staying together. They see the importance of all this shit, right? And that's a good thing. But we need to continue on that path. And what is being on code? Being on code is not hurting nobody black. Being on code is making sure you shop at a black business. Being on code, if you're a black man in the neighborhood, you're going to protect the neighborhood to the best of your ability. You ain't got to be on no Superman shit, but if you see certain things going down, you got to stop it. You see women being treated a certain way, you got to stop it. You know what I mean? All those things are a part of being on code. Being on code is figuring out the best way to help your community. Whether you could be a mentor, whether you can volunteer at an organization that's around, whether it be picking up trash off the street. Like I was saying, my boy Sylvester Ware, who runs Black Father Nation, he started his organization by literally picking up trash in the Minnesota area, right? Going to certain neighborhoods, going to certain parks that are underprivileged or certain parts that are poverty stricken and picking up trash, right? So this is a simple thing, but all of us can do this kind of shit. Like all of us can help out in a particular way. You just have to choose how you want to help out. And that's for all of us. How we treat our women, how we support black businesses, how we try to start businesses with other black people, how we try to commune with other black people. I think that's why a lot of our community go to church, because in church what you do have is a fellowship of people who think of like-minded people who are attempting to move in a particular direction. You know what I mean? That's necessary for all of us. So in 2021, family, we need to get a code of conduct, how we treat each other, how we treat our women, how we treat what we see about each other, opposed to being so judgmental about some shit, opposed to doing this cancel culture shit like I was just talking about. In the black community, we don't really got time to be canceling nobody when we constantly getting canceled by society. You know what I mean? So 2021, man, we're going to stop the cancel culture. We're going to make sure we get into education and start reading, start researching things, start being contextual about the shit that we look at. We're going to convert all of the young men in our community who are having a hard time ingratiating themselves into society. They're having a hard time finding a job. They're having a hard time leaving that street shit alone. We're going to help them in 2021. You feel me? We're going to figure out a way to help them get a job. We're going to figure out, because if you can't feed somebody, it's going to be hard to lead somebody, like my boy Bobby Glantine say. You see what I'm saying? So we talking about, hey, get off the street, hey, stop. Well, if his only means to an end is what he knows in the street, we're going to have to figure out a way to change his mentality. We're going to find a way to change his mentality about how he views himself, about how he views the community around him. And I think once we do that, he'll be more inclined to change his ways. But you got to show him better than you can tell him. You know what I mean? So we're going to convert all of our street shoulders. Then we're going to figure out a way to continue to be on code. We are being forced to be on code to a degree with all the shit that continuously happen in our community, and that's a good thing. That's why I think Donald Trump is a good thing. That fucking, them racist white motherfuckers running up in the Capitol building, that's a good thing, family. Some of us need to be slapped in the face to see what kind of country we live in. Some of us are a little asleep to the fact that it's racist as hell out here, to the fact that at any moment you can be a hashtag. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want something to happen to somebody in your family. Something happened to somebody in your family by the hands of a cop, by the hands of something that has to do with this system, and then you turn to being more revolutionary. Then you turn to Karen. How about we start now? How about if a black man gets killed in Alabama, that's your brother? That's how I feel. Breonna Taylor is my sister. She all of our sisters. That's all of us, right? It's a group think. You're right, Richard. Too goddamn comfortable. It's a group think mentality. Like just shopping, watching TV. You gotta nourish your body, like just like you nourish your body with food, like you supposed to eat certain foods, supposed to exercise, supposed to do all this shit. Same thing with your mind, family. What are you putting in your mind? Trash? You watching 11 hip hop all day? That's the kind of shit you consuming all day? That's the type of mentality you're gonna have, family. I'm sorry to tell you. So you gotta put the type of shit in your brain that's going to help you, that's going to empower not just you, but all of us. That's why reading is important. That's why understanding what's going on in politics to a degree is important, but just loving your people is the most important thing. You feel me? So in 2021, man, we're going to get this thing right. This COVID shit got us all locked down. Use this as an opportunity to empower yourself. Whether, like I said, if that's reading, if that's getting close with family members, if that's cleaning your house out, if that's finding a new job, if that's finding a business you can start, figure out ways to empower yourself before it's too late, because none of us know how much time we actually got in this motherfucker, right? And nobody want to be an older person who lives with regrets, who is telling people about what they should have did, who they should have been. No, none of that shit. Do it now. You want to get something popping? Start tomorrow. You feel me? So look, man, this has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to thank everybody who came in and checked everything out. This episode will be on YouTube tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, Richard, do me a favor, family. Go to Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube page. I have this show on there. I have a History Matters section on there where I talk a lot about different times in history. I'm going to get some other segments popping on the YouTube channel. So y'all continue to support what I've been doing, man. I'm really excited about what this year is going to hold for all of us. We just need to continue to be on code. We need to continue to love each other and continue to move forward in a positive manner. Like, continue to think positive, family. If you want to avoid depression, if you want to avoid negative situations in your life, think positive. Think glass half full. You know what I mean? Always think positive. Always try to put that's what's up, man. Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can put together something, because on my YouTube channel, I want to eventually put together like short movie type, like scripted series about like young fathers and what they have to go through with buying Pampers and trying to be a young black man in a society where, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out a way to continue to bring light to how we need to be as men, right? Because we understand what this system has done to us, Richard, but if all of us can do our best to be in-home fathers, if we were to, if over the next 3 or 4 years, if that 70%, because right now it's single, I'm in Sacramento, Richard, because right now it's like 70% single parent homes, right? If we get that down to like 20%, 30%, think about how that's going to impact our families. Think about how that's going to impact the entire community, right? You know what I mean? So that's why I'm so big on fatherhood. That's why my whole platform is Melanated Fathers, because I understand the importance of our kids being in our home. I'm a black man with 5 kids. 4 of my kids do not live with me. They had to come to my house on the weekends. I had to pay child support. I put their moms through hella shit. Like, it was a raggedy ass situation that I caused. You know what I mean? So it's important to me because I know a lot of brothers who didn't do it like that. I know a lot of brothers who got one woman. They got kids with this one woman. Life is simpler that way. Like, we need to get rid of this whole baby mama shit. Like, we have all these rappers and all these entertainers, regardless of how much money you got. If you got hella kids all over town, that shit's raggedy, bro. That shit ain't gonna help nobody. Ask your kids, regardless of how much money you got. Ask your children, do they like going from mama house back to daddy house? 2 sets of rules, 2 sets of adults. Nobody want that shit. So we need to slow the fuck down and make sure our children know how important it is to move slow, how important it is to protect your seed. That's all we got, family. Protect your seed. Don't be spreading your seed all willy-nilly. Nah. Relax. You're right. Going back to the plantation shit, Richard, we were bucks. Some of us, I was at one time too, out here operating like bed bucks. You know what I mean? You just sticking your dick everywhere. You need to relax, family. You need to relax and understand how we are already up against the 8 ball in this country. So if we put ourselves in these adverse situations, it's going to be worse for us. You see what I'm saying? So it's been a great episode, man. I appreciate everybody tuning into the show. This is the first episode of 2021. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. Please go to Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube. I am going to be, my website, melanatedfathers.com, is being reconstructed right now. That'll be back up shortly on the website. You can get information about Black history. I put news stories on the website, articles about parenting, book of the month. Everything we've been talking about here is kind of a culmination of all these things on the website, which will be back up and running in a few weeks. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show, man. This has been another great episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. I'm out.